Well, I think it's a positive approach more than anything else. I mean, we know that we had opportunities. We didn't take advantage of them. We missed some chances out there. And I think the guys feel that, we're better than that. And I think that's part of the reason why these guys feel, positive. I thought their approach to today's practice had a lot of energy, a lot of high energy. And that was another good thing that, that's important. You got to be able to bounce back and get yourself refocused. This is a very good football team we're playing. It really is. And we're going into a very tough environment as well. So, we've got to rally around one another and make sure we understand what it takes. Well, I think when you look at the things that Sam's trying to do, I think he's trying to make plays. And sometimes, it's just dumping the ball and getting rid of it, or throwing it away for the most part. And I think that's part of his growth period.
Sam Howell sat up there and didn't play the blame game. He took accountability, said, I have to play better, I have to be better. What does that show from a maturity aspect, and what kind of maybe a boost can that give in the locker room?
Well, I think part of it is that the young men, his teammates in that locker room know that he's going to hold himself accountable first and foremost. And it's true. And he's right. He can play better. We can play better as a team, and we can coach better. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, when you lose a football game like that, everybody's culpable. And just the fact that he's willing to get up there and tell everybody, hey, I can be better, that's important. And his teammates most certainly do appreciate that. Yes, there is a resilience to him that his teammates appreciate. And just kind of the way he handles himself as he walks around, the facility. And it's, he's just like any of the other players. He one moment he's really serious about it and recognizing, understanding what he has to do. The other moment he can be lighthearted and, laugh with the guys. I mean, I think he's exactly where he needs to be right now. It's one of those things that, like I said, we all share in the blame, and what we've got to do is we've just all got to be better.
Just know exactly what took place. Now it's time to just go fix it. With that said, I'm all ears. Well, I think it's a combination of everything. We got to make sure that we're doing a great job as a coaching staff, and that starts right here with me. I am the offensive coordinator. On top of that, we just got to make sure that we're out there executing. When it's all said and done with, we got a young quarterback. Still, our job is to make sure that we're continuing to grow. Now, there was some spurts. He did a hell of a job. You know what I mean? And then there was some opportunities. We didn't do such a great job. But that's the thing. When you're a team going through a season, you're going to have your highs and you're going to have your lows. This is when you find out who you are. This is when the resiliency has to pick up. We have to play great together as a unit. We can't pick and choose our moments. Okay, and I'll say this again, that starts right here with me, all right? And so I got to make sure that our guys can fully have a grasp of what we want to accomplish. But at the end of the day, it's all about the 11 men who are on that field being accountable to one another, and us as a coaching staff being accountable to those players. And then once we start ironing out all these little things, everything will be all right. I mean, it's always a topic of discussion. At the end of the day, you just want every player in that locker room to have faith and confidence and belief in what we're doing. We just didn't play very good. When it's all said and done with, you have good days, you have bad days. When it's all said and done with, my job is to make sure that we're doing everything, all right, to help us to drag our across the finish line. Obviously, I ain't do a great job, whether we threw the ball, whether we ran it, okay? Obviously, we didn't do enough. So my job is to make sure that, hey, you know what? That doesn't happen again. My job is to clean up the and we continue moving forward.
What did you make of Brian Robinson's performance? It seems like the last couple of weeks he's had a few bit more explosive runs.
B-Rob is B-Rob. That's who he is. It doesn't shock nor surprise me. But at the end of the day, I tell you one thing B-Rob would love is that if we would have found a way to win that game together as a unit. One thing about this, you guys are going to understand this about me. I'm not about numbers. I'm all about our players, and I'm all about finding ways to win. So when it comes to the individual performances, yes, some guys stood out, but we didn't stand out together as a team, okay? And obviously on offense, we didn't do our part. So our job is to make sure that regardless of who has, quote, unquote, a good stat game or who doesn't, at the end of the day, we got to fix it, corral it, make sure that everybody's on the same page, and then we get back to work and we figure it out. So I know B-Rob. B-Rob is a hell of a football player. But the only thing B-Rob right now is concerned about is this up-and-coming opponent. And, well, he's a second-year player, but he's a rookie quarterback, okay? And I'll keep using this line as long as I'm up here, okay? Sometimes it's the first time things have happened to him. And so you have to understand he's going through that experience. The best thing Sam did that game is that he played his way through it. That way now he can find out the good that he did, the bad that he did, and the indecisiveness that he did. But those things happen. No one wants to go out there and perform in that manner. But one thing I am proud of, I'm proud of the kid because, yes, he did have some sparks, okay? I'm proud of our group because when it was all said and done, we found a way to move the ball down the field. Obviously, we didn't finish in the end zone like I wanted to, but we found a way to move the ball. And so when you do stuff like that, you celebrate the little things, and you make sure that you're giving your guys that positive feedback, but also being realistic with them about playing hard, playing consistent, making sure that we're not taking turns breaking down throughout the course of the game. And we talk about this all the time. Sometimes it'd be nice just to line up and play against the opponent rather than playing against ourselves and beating ourselves and playing against the opponent. That's pretty tough. So I would like to see us to go out and compete this week against the Philadelphia Eagles, which I'm pretty sure our guys will be fired up.
Your point about becoming a unit to the offensive side, when the game's going like that, you have leaders like Terry and you guys picking each other up on the sideline, and even taking blame for it and picking someone up and so on. What does that say about your leadership?
It says a lot. It just talks about the character of the men that we have. And that's what I love and appreciate about these guys, because some of those guys I called that night just to check in on them to see how they were doing, because sometimes we can get caught up in the moment of what took place. But when you go back at it, obviously it's still ugly. But there is some good that we did. And I've been in this league now as a coach and a player for over 30 years. The unfortunate thing, sometimes you have bad days, and it happens. Now, okay, the only thing I'm measuring is to see how we respond. That's what this is about. You're going to have highs and lows. Championship teams find ways to work through those tough times, and that's the thing that we have to continue to do. We got to continue to persevere through adversity and find a way to collectively drag our across the finish line by doing it the right way.
With the Eagles' run defense as stout as they are, you guys have gotten to run the ball a little bit more frequently particularly in the first half of the game. Do you have to kind of remind yourself to stick with the run there, and how do you kind of balance sticking with the run and also?
Well, I don't have to remind myself. Every position can play better. That wasn't a good enough answer. Nobody liked that one. Huh? Coaches can coach better. Okay, so you guys got to understand this stuff like this happens. Okay, we're growing as a team. We're discovering who we are. This is week 3. We're 2-1, by the way. Okay, the sky hasn't fallen out from the sky. Everything, the sun is still coming up. We're having an opportunity to be here. We're very blessed and fortunate to be here, breathing, alive. So we have an opportunity to fix it. As an offensive unit, we didn't play very well. And I'll say this, I'll continue to say that. That starts with me. My job is to make sure that our minds are ready to go out there and do the things that we need to get done. But on top of that, that we're physically capable of doing what needs to be done. We'll play better.
Yeah, I mean, every week put the plan together and go to execute the best you can. Yeah, last week they did a good job blocking us. I like the way he's started and responded. I thought last week was clearly a step forward. I think he continues to understand plays that he needs to make for us and working hard at it.
And I know obviously there's been 2 things were made a lot about him were one, the interceptions and being able to be a playmaker in that way, and also just the size or lack thereof. Have you seen from the size perspective, have you seen that be a factor at all so far, positively perhaps or negatively for him?
No, he's got good length, got good quickness. So no real issues that way. But I like where he is. I mean, we're working, we're improving, and I like the way he's approaching it.
How have you seen Jalen Hurts kind of evolve as a passer?
He's done just that. I've admired him, from back at the Alabama days, the way he handled adversity. I thought truly classy, studly response to tough circumstances. And every part of his game has just continued to grow and blossom. He's a good football player. He's improving as a passer, and he's dangerous with his legs and a very good leader, and all that kind of stuff. So he is developing and done a nice job for him.
Jalen's development, is that a normal progression for a quarterback, or is he, I guess, making bigger leaps and bounds than maybe other normal quarterbacks have?
That's kind of a tough question. I think the development is apparent, and I wouldn't say it's normal because not everybody does, How do you quantify what normal looks like? I think he's one that has developed, and there are some good young players that come out, highly regarded, and don't. So, it's kind of one of those, if you really understood what it was, more of those guys would go off early in the draft, and there'd be less misses. But that's just, everybody's trying to find a guy that can do it, and looks like they've settled on and found a really good one.
What have you seen from Emmanuel Forbes in the first 3 weeks? Like, what do you want to see him get better at?
Did you miss the beginning of this? We talked about Emmanuel, didn't we?
Yeah, but I was.
You want to go? You want to dive deeper on that?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
right.
I mean, what do you want to see him improve on, and are the things that you want to see normal for a rookie, I guess? Yeah,
the game of football. Just he's gaining experience each and every week. Come out and compete. That's what I want to see. Prepare well and compete. It's really, I don't want to see anything different from him than I want to see from all our guys. Dig into the game plan, really understand your opponent, make sure that you're playing fast to your responsibilities, and go out and have fun. Let it rip. So I want him to do the same ththing I want all our guys to do. Well, again, I don't like to share much about my thoughts of how we attack people, one way or the other, whether they're 14-year veterans or first-year guys. So I'll kind of keep that to myself. But the bottom line is, each week these are talented guys. They have different skill sets, and you've got to really prepare your squad to respond to the challenges of that given week, and then you move on. You put it in the rearview mirror, good or bad. It's a lot more fun when it's good. You have a big smile on your face on Monday versus the other. But it's all about moving on in this league, and that's the challenge for us right now. Move on, and let's get ready for this one.